Welcome back to the podcast. And just so everybody is aware, we do upload every Saturday. And we are aware that the notification bells aren't hitting everybody like the way they should. Because I think somebody up there in YouTube has their head up their ass. I mean, let's be real about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's affecting me, not them. It's affecting us.
I was going to say, it's all of us, man.
Yeah.
We all in it.
Yeah. All these content creators are experiencing that because of YouTube.
Right.
It's like, come on, man. Every subscribe counts. But anyway, what you got for us today?
So there's two people in our past that I think have changed in the same direction we've changed to, what we once were. We are, I don't want to say eons ahead of what we should have been, but I think it was a significant jump from what we were to who we are now. And these two friends, it kind of shocked me as to these people taking this leap when I didn't think they were going to take this huge leap. So Chip, which is a very old friend,
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon, which is a very old friend.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I talk to these two dudes,
Mm-hmm.
I would call Trayvon just to, hear his voice, see how he's doing, what type of hurdles he's going through. And, we just get into this whole new meaning of our friendship.
Right.
And things I thought he would never be involved in or would even give any, attention to, just surprised me. We were talking about things like, are you following this for Bigfoot? Which surprised me. We were on the same channel. Synchronicity in that alone is crazy. Or are you following the laws of the universe? And for him to be speaking to me about these things, it's almost like it's needed, and
Yeah.
These are the people you want to have that paradigm shift in their life.
Yeah, you should probably always ask your friend, because everybody seems like they're elevating. And your friends, you know what they're into, but sometimes things change. So,
Right.
I think everybody should at least like once a year be like, so what's new? What are you into now?
Right.
Because I need to know these things. We're friends. You know what I mean? Oh, man, I'm into Bigfoot. Well, guess what? Yesterday, I got into Bigfoot.
Right.
I didn't think you would be into something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody just changes over the years.
Right.
Yeah.
But not always for the good, or maybe it's not the good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the way you see things and people coming about, or you would hope that they would be learning something more, not spiritual, but more of an awakening process.
Yeah.
I talked to Chip today,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude just sounded 100% not like Chip.
Yeah.
And
Chip is our old guitar player. We mentioned him in a prior episode, but he was our guitar player / frontman.
So Chip he's not the same Chip. He is I want to say he's not only progressed in life, but he was aware of the old Chip. And it's almost like he had an ego death of the old Chip.
Yeah.
And he's this new person.
Like a rebirth Chip 2.0.
Right. It's hard to explain if you don't know the dude.
Yeah.
And we had a long conversation today, and he's He doesn't have the same phone number. He doesn't have the same contacts, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to keep to himself, is what he's telling me. He started his own knife making business. He's, taking care of his daughter. And it's just amazing to hear certain friends
Mm-hmm.
make huge leaps, into something you would have never thought, or I would have never thought.
Yeah. And to get a little background on that, Chip suffered from some major alcohol problems. So, but he's overcome that, is what it seems
Yeah,
like.
there were some addictions.
Yeah, there were some addictions there.
But it's nice, man.
Yeah.
It's nice to see people.
It's almost like you're talking to someone completely different.
Yeah, it's like I have to know this dude all over again.
Yeah. And because so much time has passed by, you're like, what did I miss? Did I miss this whole paradigm shift that you went to? And how come you didn't call and keep me in the loop? But sometimes you may not want to do that. You may want to just have all that time and focus on yourself and get yourself right before you let others know what you're doing.
I think that's what he did. Actually, he told me, he's even told me, he said, hey, I'm not talking to people like I used to.
Yeah.
I'm not putting my business on social media anymore. He's like completely off social media. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's 100%, but he's not on YouTube until we talk today.
Yeah, did you tell me he I need to call him, but he got out of politics and all that.
He got out of politics, religion.
That's good.
And he's just, it's just a new dude, man. It's almost like somebody hit a reset button.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like for those that have religion, that saves them. You know what I mean? Because it's something more than them that they can aspire to. But for him to just set everything else away, everything exterior away, and focus in on his internal self.
Right.
Yeah, it's like starting a new slate.
Right.
Once I fix me, now where do I want to go? Do I want to become spiritual? Do I want to become universal? Do I want to get religion? Do I need to get back into politics? You like almost have this clean slate to say, what do I want to do, now that I've discovered myself?
Right.
What can I enhance it? And that's what it sounds like he's doing.
Right.
Like he had a complete rebirth.
How can I enhance it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I do enhance it, where do I go?
Yeah. I don't think I ever had, I've had devices, but nothing as critical as what Chip had to overcome, right? Maybe mine was more like, I don't know, believing in myself more, or don't be afraid to do this, and separate yourself from the job so you can go out and do what you really want to do and focus on that. Don't have any anchors attached to you,
Right.
Those were kind of my devices, but coming from Chip, man, that's a profound.
If you knew who he was in the past, it's just come out of left field for me. And I'm still trying to process the information, which I'm probably not relaying it the way I should had I had time to think about what I was going to say, but it happened today.
Yeah.
It was a profound experience.
How long was the conversation?
Probably maybe an hour, nowhere near enough time to understand how this man has changed his life.
I bet you a lot of people, like friends or even them, had something like that really changed them. And then their friends looked at them and probably thought to themselves, you're not the same person.
Right.
What happened to you? You're better.
Right.
You're better than what I remember. You look at things differently now. So I think he came to that point. Like everybody comes to that point where they need to like self-reflect.
Right.
And change. But we would sit there and tell him, what he was like when he was fighting those demons. Chip, alcohol makes you do this and you're this type of person. But when your ego is in the way and you got the addiction, you can't tune in to what your friends are telling you.
Right.
So it has to be a point where someone has to really wake up and really see that for themselves. Some may find that through like ayahuasca, DMT, mushroom trip, good counseling. It doesn't have to necessarily be, drug related, but they can get it from a loved one. They can get it from their kids.
Right.
I want to know
Isolation.
At what is the breaking point?
Right.
Because I know a lot of people think to themselves, I need to change. Like, I don't like what I'm doing. Even with addiction, I know it's bad for me, but I can't stop. But everyone comes to that point, not everyone, but a lot of people come to that point and they go, okay, enough is enough.
Right. Well, I think everyone comes to the point, but it's when they get to that crossroad, what do?
Yeah.
Do they sit down or do they go left or right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, some just continue to go in circles. I'm just going to forever do left-hand turns.
Right. And it's funny, when we first started music, we were in a certain mindset, so the music was in a certain mindset. And the older we got, the music's changed. And I think we just take all these things with us, and everything is changing and morphing and progressing.
And the music comes from a place where it's the mood, it's your mood, and it's where you're at in life with your beliefs and how far hopefully you've elevated yourself.
Right.
Like you get wiser, and the music tends to calm down when people get wise, if that's your thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it seems like we all have this soundtrack of some sort.
That follows
that follow us.
That in that particular year or setting, this was my emotions, my mood, my mindset.
Right.
Yeah. And now that I have a better outlook, people's music brightens up and stuff like that. It'll follow you like that. Yeah, I get that.
Right.
Yep. Yep. But I'm glad he got that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad Trayvon is like, he's gotten that far too.
Yeah.
I mean, those two dudes are on the same boat.
Yeah.
They're just extremely different dudes. Trayvon, not so extreme because he's always been that positive dude, just encountered a bunch of obstacles in his life. So,
yeah.
You could tell it kind of lowered his energy a little bit. But when you talk to him now, it's just like,
Just take it as it comes.
He's in all understanding of the universe, and certain things are going to happen for a reason, and you got to push through it,
I'm just waiting for our other counterpart, David Trujillo,
right,
to get his head out of his ass.
Yeah.
He's still lacking behind.
He is. I don't know why.
That dude.
Yeah.
And I know he's watching.
Right.
I know he's watching this right now. And he's thinking to himself, probably in some little freaking drunken slumber.
Yeah.
He's thinking to himself, he's probably right. But I got to go to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. David, get your head out of your ass. For everybody, please. But I digress.
It's dangerous when you got your head in your ass.
It is highly toxic. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good for him. I bet you a lot of people, though, like I said, I bet you a lot of people have overcome some struggles that I would love to hear about.
Right.
Because I think people have a story, but in most times they don't have a platform to tell it. And I think a lot of people just need a platform to tell their story because we all want to tell our story.
Yeah. Well, we have a few people that are ready to come, and tell their story. And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because I like to hear, you don't have to be this rich, not rich, but have all this notoriety and people that know you because you've done this and done that. It's great.
Right.
Right. I love it because, that's, he's famous. I get it. But I want to hear from the people, the everyday people with everyday struggles. Like, to me, those are the real movie stars in this ultimate role of life. You know what I mean? And we all have a story. So I'm like, how many stories are out there that are really, really great stories that someone wants to tell you?
I wonder too, once the conversation is over with whoever comes in this studio to podcast with us, that we understand them, at least 20% more than we did prior. Yeah. And if we can't figure out a soundtrack for that moment,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
just to work the music that way.
Yeah. Whatever vibe he's
Yeah.
sending off, whether it be a sad story or
Right.
Yeah.
Just score it for him.
just score it for him.
Right.
Yeah, that would make
I
sense.
mean, it's
too.
something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, before we started this podcast, I always wanted to hear, other people tell their stories.
Right.
Whether we were out hunting bourbon or doing whatever, a story was always to come. This is how I started hunting bourbon.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went camping one time and this tree fell and it almost shattered the tent and my wife shit her pants. And
Right.
you know what I mean? Like there's like Indiana Jones type stories that are out there that are so exciting and people don't have anywhere to take it or to tell.
Right.
So if you're listening, tell us your story. I want to know. We want to know.
Right.
We're missing out on so much life experience. And then someone, maybe a lot of people you can relate with because there's something that they've done that you've done where you can be like, yeah, I can relate with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've done that.
Yeah.
I've been in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember what that embarrassment feels like.
And we just find out that, our problems are pretty much the same.
Yeah. I don't think you can. I mean, there's given situations like, I'm not a drug dealer, so I don't know what selling a ton of cocaine feels like.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if somebody were to come to me with that type of story, I'm like, whoa, that's a heavy story. I don't know what that's like. I can't relate.
Right.
But if you told me while you were selling cocaine, you had a dream that you were naked in a shopping mall, I'd be like, well, I can relate with the dream, man. Yeah. I've been naked in my dream and it's embarrassing as hell.
Right.
And why was I the only one?
There's always something.
There's always something that's going to tie it into where I can relate. I can relate to that story.
Right.
And then why people do things like, you know what I mean, sell drugs or why they prostitute or why they, do these things, steal cars and you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just their mindset. And I'm so intrigued by that.
I mean, it's what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
No matter the outcome, they're not looking at an outcome, a cause and effect. They're living in that moment of what makes them them.
Yeah.
That's their happiness. It's their love.
Yeah. It's where they're at that
right.
at that moment.
It's still a love.
Yeah. I mean, everything we do kind of has love behind it.
Right. There's love in anything you could think of, which, I mean, and I'm only saying that because I keep things in the positive, mainframe. But one can easily say, well, there's always hate in anything too.
Yeah, but you can love to hate.
But you can love to hate. Love is in everything. You can love to cook. You can love to love. You can love to drink and drive.
Yeah.
It's just, it's in everything.
Yeah.
And I find that weird when you really think about it.
Yeah. It's just that 4-letter word that's probably the secret to life. If someone were to ask me, I would think, hey, what's the secret to life? I'm going to probably say it's something to do with love.
Right.
Or not far from.
And he'd probably say, well, what does that mean? And you can easily answer, well, it's in everything.
Yeah. You get into a debate about it.
I would love to hear a rebuttal on that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a question we should be asking when we're out on the field.
Yeah.
Well,
we kind of do ask some of those questions.
We do, but we don't ask it like that.
Yeah. I mean, because you're born with love, right? So when your mother delivers you, she showers you with immense love.
Right.
Of her child.
Right.
And that's the first emotion that you get.
And she also carries fear on her too. So I believe you get that fear when you're in the womb.
Yeah. Is my baby okay?
Right.
Concerns and fear. Yeah.
And if we didn't have these words to identify these emotions would still be there.
Yeah.
And you would know what they are based on how they make you feel.
Yeah.
And you can also show that in your facial expression.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a sad face, happy face, angry face.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if, animals prefer that over language.
I still think animals make gestures with their, or posturing, like.
Not just any animal, like our domesticated animals
Yeah.
who can be around us 24/7.
I think they probably have a better sense of reading or smelling like certain things like fear,
Right.
or maybe read your energy like, oh, he's upset, or maybe he's down and out. I watched I was like top 10 things that animals do when people are like at their worst. And I think it was one lady, she was sitting on like a barn step next to her horse, and she's obviously crying because she was going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And the horse wraps his head around her and like gives her a hug. Like you can see that's what the horse was doing. Like it could sense her depressed state, and it gestured. What we would do is like give someone a hug. It wrapped his head around her and gave her the hug.
Right.
And they caught it on camera. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, wow, this animal is super in tune to our emotion. The lady was crying. The horse obviously knew what crying sounds like or feels like,
Right.
to where the horse had to address it. You know what I mean? So I think animals communicate with us more than we know because we're not intelligent enough to see it. Like your dog trainers or your animal trainers, right? I'm sure they see a better part of it because they are actually engaged and in tune with that animal.
Right.
But they'll tell you all day that animals can like communicate with us on a different level, or they understand humans.
Right. But they're not processing tons of data like we do.
No.
So they're going to be more intuitive to their environment.
Yeah.
So imagine how hypersensitive they must be when we approach them a certain way. They know what emotional state we are in.
Yeah.
So when I was a farrier in Washington, we had this huge horse, and for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. And he was a huge all-black Patron.
Mm-hmm.
The dude had huge feet, like 4s and 5s. Those are the size of the shoes, by the way. And every time I would approach him, well, I would see how his owner is reprimanding him, and I would see why she was trying to get a certain discipline out of the horse, and she was just going about it the wrong way entirely. And so
what would she do?
So the way she would let him just be, a bully, and she would go, oh, stop it, and try to feed him a treat, or, that's not how you discipline a 1,700-pound animal that could take your life in the wrong move, right? This horse is so big, literally, if a fly landed on him or if the slightest thing would scare him and she's in the wrong place at the wrong time, could take her life.
So you're saying that she was laying human expectations on an animal?
I don't want to even understand what she was thinking, but when you're around something so big, there's a dominance you must have, and there is a patience you must have, and there is a some sort of discipline that needs to be understood between you and this animal, because things can get crazy, life-threatening crazy, So I would watch her do these things. And so my wife would also watch her do these things, and we're already on the same, wavelength. And she can't be around for the horse to be shod. Basically, she can't be around while her horse is getting horseshoes on its hooves, because she makes the horse worse. And we get the horse, and the first thing I do is I take it off of the side clips that come in from the barn. If you're looking down the breezeway, they have these side ties
that hold the horse's head.
Yeah. So he won't move from left or right. So we just take those off. So the feeling of him being restrained is gone. The horse knows me. And I never have to say one thing to this horse. The way I touch him, he moves. The way I pick his legs up is with respect. The way I go to his back, and this horse was never like that. The horse just would not stand for anybody. Okay, and I got myself around this horse after the third shoeing. I could literally feel and know what this horse is thinking, how it's moving, how he's behaving, how I'm behaving. And I know he's doing the same thing to me. And it's almost a scary feeling, but it's like we can literally become a unit and we don't have to say one word. Everything was off of a touch. Mm-hmm. And each touch has a different aggression behind it. Now, he was being a dick one day. He was testing my patience. And we were in the correction stage of his hooves. So he had to stand a little bit longer so I can get more hoof off of this horse. So he started getting a little impatient. And he was trying to test me and push my buttons. All of this without saying one word. Mm-hmm. I could feel it. And he's definitely expressing it. I put my cradle down. I walk up to him. I give him a stern look in the eye, and I say a few words on a total different ground now, okay? I just made it more intensive for him by just exerting that energy. Went to the back of that horse. He wanted to do it again. Went back to the front of the horse again, looked him in his eye, grabbed on his lead line, and gave a slight jerk, like, okay, we're going to get this done. You're going to stand, right? Mm-hmm. I let it go. Marelyn holds the horse. I go in the back, pick the foot up, didn't have one problem the rest of the shoeing. So there's a lot to be said with animals understanding humans.
It sounds like to me you're playing the dominant role.
But I wasn't.
Yeah, but
he could destroy me if he wanted.
True, but the owner was so submissive, the horse knew it. Like he could get away with things.
Right.
And whoever, because no one took the time out to assert their dominance.
It was like an adolescent almost. Yeah.
Just like when I my horse Scotch. Okay, let's go back to even further back. My horse Smoke, the Palomino that I had.
Right.
It took a certain type of rider to ride him. That horse was smart enough to know when you got on his back, he knew you were either in fear or you had no idea what you were doing. And he exploited that. And he got rid of you. It was that simple. So horses, just these types of animals, I think they really size the person up to see if this person is going to take dominance over me so I can know my place in the pecking order.
Right.
Because when we had all of our horses out in the field, we knew instantly that our bay horse, Crow, he was the head honcho. He had them all in line, right? And they had the pecking order. It was Crow, it was Dexter, it was Smoke. That was the pecking order.
Right.
When you came in there and shawed this particular horse, that horse was the dominant. He was first in the food chain.
Right.
Then you came and said, no. We don't play this.
Right.
There's a job that needs to be done, and this is how it's going to go.
Right. Because you can hurt somebody, big guy.
And I think that horse respected that. Like, oh, I'm not the big boy in the block anymore. But whatever it is with the horse, like you said, they don't have that thought process to say, hey, I'm a 1,500-pound animal. I can wreck this dude.
Right.
He ain't running shit.
Yeah. And that's funny because they don't come in with a negative
that's what I'm saying.
Wanting to
hurt
you and kill you.
Right. Well, some.
Well, some, yeah.
But for majority of horses, being that big ass animal,
if he was aware of his body mass.
And I'm very, very happy.
Right. That they don't really choose that route.
They don't choose that route because when we're on their backs, like I would like to believe all my horses took care of me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, I know he's leaning to this side. I'm going to adjust my body weight and shift him over. I felt that riding a horse.
Right.
You know? Oh, he's not sitting right in the saddle. He's too far over my withers. Let me slow up or adjust my run to make it comfortable for me.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, I felt that. It's like it goes hand in hand. There's a communication there for sure. Yeah. And I'm sure it's the same for dogs, like when they communicate. But I often wonder, like when other animals look at us, like let's just say like a chimpanzee, when he looks at us, do you think they go, man, where's all your fur at? And what's this material on your arm? Like, what are you wearing? Why are you not naked?
Right.
What the hell are you doing? Look at the rest of us monkeys. Obviously, you resemble some of my family, but I don't understand what the hell's going on here.
Right.
You know, do they ever sit and evaluate us?
I'm sure they do. We're a part of their environment. I mean, they're smart enough to know that certain fruits are poisonous to their system.
Yeah.
And I think this is the Zanzibar monkey.
Yeah.
We're totally going off topic, but it's okay.
Yeah, but it's
The Zanzibar monkey can eat a fruit
right.
that he knows it's poisonous, but before he eats this fruit, he'll eat a piece of coal so it can filter out the toxin.
Right.
And they can still enjoy the fruit. What is the fruit? Do you know what the fruit is?
I know they eat like mango leaves.
Okay, but
I don't know
a wild grape.
I don't
or
know.
something?
I don't know what the fruit is. I'll have to look. I'll have to look into that. But I get your point. If they're smart enough to have activated charcoal, then yes, I think they're smart enough to say, "Hey, what the hell are you guys wearing? What are you doing?
We're analyzing you."
Yeah.
I mean, gorillas and chimps, they even, if they were captive in a zoo, okay, they'll sit there and figure out a way out. And some of them make it out. They do the math. They do the reason. You know, that's pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
They're perceiving a outcome, which means they're formed some kind of future, you know?
Yeah, they're constantly thinking.
Their consciousness is probably the same, if not, you know, better for the environment than we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also like it back to the communication thing too. It also depends on the animal. Like animals, I think, have their own, you know, traits, their own protagonist, persona.
Right.
Like how come some birds will let you come up to them and other birds fly away? Why do some deer sit in the yard out there, the others run, but there's that one curious one that's like, I've never seen one of these before.
Right.
Can we lick it?
Or I've never had a bad interaction with the human.
Yeah. Why is everybody running? 9 times out of 10, one of these dudes gives me something.
Right.
You know, whether it's oats or something. But then the rest know because of their interactions with us is, yo, one of those dudes shot Bob last year.
Right.
Bob wasn't doing shit but grazing in the grass. Then they took him.
And they wore him.
Yeah.
Like a jacket.
How much of that animal...
Bob was a jacket.
How much of that animal instinct you think carried on from the past, like before Romans, like caveman era, like when animals knew we were hunting them?
Right.
And they slowly evolved into knowing that humans hunt them. Like, you think that's carried on?
Yeah, I think that's even... But that's where every predator or prey would come in contact. As soon as they hit the ground, they have to be able to run quick.
Yeah.
You know, like that's instilled in them.
Yeah.
As soon as they hit the ground, bruh, they know.
Yeah.
Life is horrible.
What is it like in the first, I want to say 10 minutes, 30 minutes, they're walking?
Right. And they got a sense of fear on them. They got a sense of wonder on them.
Yeah.
And they're up. They're aware, you know, and mother has been downloading information into baby for quite some time before it hit the ground, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's part of their evolution. So they already, so I would say like that's something we have in common as far as communication with animals is the fear.
Right.
Right? Because prey animals, they are constantly on alert, right? In the air, it's palpable that there is danger.
Yes.
Present.
They can sense it in the air, smell, hear.
I mean, and how they evolved is also
gut feelings.
Yes. And plus how they evolved, how they have eyes on the side of their head.
Right.
Like horses have monocular vision.
Right.
Right. So they can pinpoint and zero in on something.
And bring it in closer.
And we can't see it.
Right.
But they have that constant blind spot. But that's why a lot of those animals constantly shift and gaze.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, most predators, if not all, have those eyes forward.
It's a beautiful thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
We really don't need our lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to have them.
Yeah.
Just to make the communication easier. But could you imagine going out on the first date and saying, hey, look, this is how I do my first dates. I don't say nothing. And then, how would you even get a certain woman to stick around when you go, look, this is how I do it. I don't say anything for at least 4 hours on the first date.
Okay, but what if she wants to know why you do that?
Do you give her an explanation, or do you just go, hey, look, I don't want to put anything in your head as to who you think I am. I just want to see if we just can't sit here in some silence, have some drinks. You gotta wonder, the longer a person stays in it and with it and is about it, it's gonna be a great conversation once that 4 hours is up. But if it's a person that has no patience, it's like this dude is fucking batshit.
Yeah.
They're gonna be up, get out of their seat, gone. Just think about that.
So I would say it's a good concept, but I would say, hey, I'm yada yada. It's nice to meet you. You want to try something with me? Personally, I don't like saying anything for at least, hear me out, for at least 4 hours that I'm meeting someone. And this is why. You put your reasons out there and you just say, are you willing to try this with me?
I kind of feel like you're giving too much.
But you're not. You're just explaining the reason why you're that way, why you're doing it. And if all they have to say is, it's two ways. Either they're saying, yes, I will try this experiment, you crazy kooky bastard.
Right.
Or it's, no, I'm just going to find someone that's on my level.
You know what?
You're obviously, you're doing your own thing.
You know what? I would slide that person. I would slide that person a monocle and a pamphlet and just go, read this.
Yeah.
And then that was the last thing I said. You read that. Now, either they're going to take that monocle and read it, or they're just going to be like, I'm out.
Yeah. But,
you are a crazy son of a bitch. If you think I'm going to sit here on a complete stranger, read this pamphlet with a monocle.
See, now you're just telling me, though, that you're looking for a particular.
No, I'm just saying, wouldn't that be a trip if that's how dating went?
Yeah.
You could look at it, what if you were conflicted with something like that? That would be crazy. Would you be able to sit there and go, okay, 4 hours, we're just going to order food, have drinks, sit here and chill?
See, now you're posing a whole different idea. Now, if this is the way things were, then I wouldn't be having a problem with it because it'd be so common.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
In general, it would be a crazy moment for both parties.
Yeah.
If a person just got to that point in his life, he or she, and was like, read this pamphlet. That was the last thing I ever.
I don't see you ever getting too many dates. I'll just say that.
It's going to be rough.
Yeah, you're gonna spend a lot of lonely nights.
But you will have that one person.
Let me tell you something. You're gonna spend a lot of lonely nights on Christmas.
There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah, but good luck finding that because you just made your odds or your window very small.
See, I don't think so. I think there's more people probably about that than you think.
I bet if
people of the universe are in abundance They would be about it. They would like, where does this go?
I get that, but that's why they make websites so you can put that out there and look for that particular person. If you're out there going to these bars and you're free willy-nilly in it, and this is what you're doing, my friend, you will be empty hooked more times than not.
I don't think there is a notalk.com, but
no, that's not what I'm saying. If you go into these dating websites and say, I'm this type of person, you want to go out for a date and just when we meet, just come to know to expect that there will be no talking for the first 4 hours. Just so I can see if we can just have a meal or drink together without saying anything. I don't know where you're going with it, but
I would be intrigued. I would want to know, like, oh, where does this go?
Yeah, you just want to run some sort of weird ass studies, man.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that'd be one of those things that come around life that you're probably never ever going to experience again, and you probably want to just hop on that train and go, where in the hell does that go?
Being the person that I am, right, I would look at it and go,
hell
okay, no. I would look at it and go, well, maybe this warrants my time. Like you just said.
Right.
Now that we're talking about it and I have an understanding of what you want to do, well, let me see where this goes so I can understand why he did this or why she did this to better understand what the outcome was.
Right.
To see if I was looking at things all wrong. Maybe it could be some enlightening thing like you just eat, you look at each other, you try to read each other's emotion or whatever,
right?
And just see how it goes. Maybe can you just have a meal in silence?
What if after the 4 hours, where you both decide to speak, and then the woman then goes, "I just wanted to tell you I was a man."
Oh, now see,
now is that 4 hours? Like, I was going to tell you I was a man, but we had to be quiet for 4 hours. Now, is that 4 hours?
Now you see that.
Is that 4 hours gone? What did you discover in that 4 hours?
Well, I obviously didn't discover shit, but just looking at him.
Oh, but I bet you have.
No, I have not. I just, in silence, I've eaten a meal. We probably drink something.
Right.
I know nothing about this person, not their voice or nothing. I'm just going off what we're doing there.
Right.
But now when you add,
but were you thinking, oh, this woman's beautiful, or oh, this is a lovely, oh, she ordered that, oh, she likes to drink. See, I would be getting so much data.
Yeah, you would, right? Okay, so
but then I would also feel like, oh no,
yeah, this is what she ordered. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be taking all that in.
Right.
But then when the voice comes out and she says that, knowing I'm not into that, that's not my thing. And it's like, why would you set me up and do this to me right now?
Right. Why would you not
disclose that?
Ignore the 4 hour rule and just say, hey, look, before we start this 4 hours, I'm a man.
Yeah. Yeah, you put a dangerous twist on that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's too much. But I think you're just setting somebody up.
That's just one variable as to which way it can go.
Yeah. No, man, that's the reason why. Honestly, now that you said that, I don't want to do the experiment.
So what if after the
I don't want to have to answer that and go, this is where I leave. This conversation and dinner is over.
Right.
And it never even started. You just introduced yourself.
Right. What if after the 4 hours, the woman doesn't say anything but breaks down crying?
Oh yeah, then I would have to. I'm too afraid to even get involved with that. I'm no psychiatrist. And no,
it's just too much going on mentally.
Hey, I see you're going through something right now that I have no idea about. But do you need me to like call someone, like get you a cab or something?
Yeah. Because, you just don't want to dive in that.
I don't. There's no way. There's no way because that person's already coming to something with trauma that they have not resolved.
Okay, well, what if they were crying and then they kind of collected themselves and go, "That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced."
Okay, but how
on
many,
a first date?
Okay, but
I'm just saying, there's so many variables.
Yeah, but how many of these variables are you about to throw at me tonight? How long will that go? Because you could throw a plethora of these.
I just like to hear your answers on these things. You know,
now,
I want to know what you're thinking about.
So now I have some context behind what's going on. Okay, so she thought
sometimes you don't need too many, things putting in context to.
Yeah, you do.
To take a conversation in a certain direction.
Well, you just told me. Okay. So she broke.
A lot of it was just to see what you're going to answer.
Okay. Well, Can I give you my
and
answer?
there were some pretty good answers so far.
Can I give you finish my answer?
You can finish it on this new one.
Now you're telling me that she
cried and then she pulled herself together and she said, that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced.
Okay, now I can stay. We can indulge the conversation.
Oh, so okay.
But you just can't leave cliffhangers, man. I can't just be like, oh, she's breaking down crying. Okay, great.
Yeah, but that cliffhanger was there for a purpose, to see how you would answer just with that piece of information.
Yeah.
Now you got another piece of information and you've answered it different. Well, that's all I want from you.
So what do you?
That's all I want, Lamar.
Yeah. So what do you have? A monkey under your ass, scribing notes, taking notes? Are you like getting data from this?
No. But I'm saying,
such a waste of a patient.
It's just a very interesting thing that I'm sure has come about.
Yeah. I've heard nothing about it, but in the mind of fellow brother twin over here, this shit happens on the regular.
Right. I just wonder.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do. I don't know what anybody else would do, but that's where I'm at.
I mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks about throughout their lives, but these are the things I think about.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
There they are.
Yes.
People not talking for the first 4 hours. That's wild. Only because I'm not used to it.
You're not used to it.
Yeah.
But animals are used to it. They go their whole lives with it. So,
well,
I think they're hypersensitive, beings that know a lot about life, maybe more than we'll ever know. And they seem to do it very easily.
But they still make some sort of sound. Animals still communicate.
I'm not saying there's no communication,
right. But yeah, a lot of it is gesture and
right.
Yeah. Yeah, like when horses look at each other, their ears go forward or back, or they turn a certain way, or their eyeballs get big and stressed out.
Right.
Yeah, you could read that.
Mm-hmm. Body language.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead horse, no pun intended. You think magic is real? You think mentalists and magic is real?
I think people that quick answer, I don't think magic is real, but I think people that practice the art of illusion can make it seem real. And I guess that is the thing that makes magic real.
Okay.
You practice something so much that it challenges the human belief.
Or you formulate the words like just right
to get a person to think
geared to a person's
way.
psyche.
Yeah,
yes.
to make them think a certain way. As far as a mentalist,
right?
Yeah, yeah. So you can your wordplay skills are like heightened.
I mean, these people are so good. I kind of want to believe magic is real, and maybe like not real like wizards and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
there was Merlin, but I mean, there's this. I don't know if it's a kid part of me. I just think some magic is real.
Yeah, a part of you wants to believe that it's real.
And I know sleight of hand and, these people practice a craft.
They do. And they make it look easy. They make it look like magic.
Right.
Because that's how well they are at their craft.
I think I'm going to choose to, keep the child side of me and go, magic is real.
And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
I just like to know, yeah, that's real.
Here's what I get from when I like watch AGT or now watch like David Blaine, right?
Right.
I'm so enthralled and giddy and happy and how it makes me feel to see that my mind being challenged to question, was that real or not?
Right.
That they've done that great of a job. I just appreciate it for that fact alone, part of me is like, how did they do that? That is a very, very great magic trick. That guy's mastered his craft, right? Because even magicians will tell you, well, it's a secret. They don't really say it. No, it's magic. They'll tell you it's magic, but deep down it's like, I can't give you the tricks of this trick. You know, it took me years to pull this off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't tell you how the workings of this magic trick goes, because then everybody would be wanting to do it, and I'm out of a job.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's magic, kid. That's all you need to be worried about.
Yeah, I'm always think it's real.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah. It just made me feel happy.
Well, you know, as like
It made me feel like I'm a 7-year-old
it makes you
sitting there
feel
watching
good.
TV like, yeah, this is totally fucking real.
Yeah, it makes you feel
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
David Blaine even said it. As a kid, that's all he could think about is like Copperfield and the magic
Right.
tricks that they do. And that's what he did. He knew they were tricks.
Right. Just the emotion you get
Yeah,
from a good
yeah.
magic trick. You're
He,
like, oh.
he went to go figure out how they did it.
Right.
And he put his own twist on it. Yeah, I mean, they're just good at what they do. I mean, but like as far as mentalists, it's the same. They like plant the seed.
Yeah.
They know like these words in this complex order can dictate or influence a thought that I would get this kind of answer from. You know, I'm sure there's like there's calculated risk with it.
Right. I like, how many times has that not worked?
Yeah. But they probably worked it out to like, well, this is like a 70% chance it's going to work.
Right.
Because everyone I've done this on, it pretty much works. So yeah. But like you said, why even spoil it? Why even look too far in it if all you want from it is to go, man, that's magic. You know what I mean? And just be happy about it.
Don't investigate it. Just just be in awe.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was like, these stories seem so believable about Merlin, you know, back in the medieval time with King Arthur and casting spells. And I mean, I just like to think some of that stuff. Okay, well, if karma is real, you believe in karma?
I believe in karma.
That's kind of like sorcery.
I mean,
If you know karma exists and someone else doesn't, you could like do some type of mental manipulation to somebody to have karma work against them.
Yeah, but so I would say, yeah, if karma worked that way instantly, right? Because if you told somebody, hey, you shouldn't have stole from that little kid, karma's gonna come around and bite you in the ass.
Right.
But before karma comes around, because karma doesn't run by a time. You don't know when karma's gonna come and smack this dude in the ass. You could be off somewhere on vacation and karma finally caught that dude.
But if you got a wizard whispering in the king's ear and he's constantly whispering negative things and negative actions in this king's ear, and he's enforcing these outlandish laws and
his advisor.
Right?
Yeah.
The wizard can then tell the people, oh, I predict the future.
Yeah.
Knowing that all the negative you put out in the world is going to come back to you in the negative. So the wizard knows this, but the king doesn't know this. Right? So is that wizardry? You know what I'm saying? Is this dude casting the spell knowing that karma can be?
But it depends on when karma runs its course. It all comes back to that.
Right.
You could just tell this king he's, to be as negative as possible, and he's just a shit king.
Right.
And the people uprise against him, and the king gets his ass kicked, and he's like, yo, Merlin, what was that about, man? You just sat here and I lost all my kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You fed me a line of bullshit.
Yeah, right.
You told me to rape and pillage the lands,
right,
and they would all come running in. It was the exact opposite.
Right. But Merlin knew that. That's why he was spitting that negativity in his ear. He knew it would come back on the king in a negative way. Okay. So
Merlin's an asshole.
So I picture karma as like a living god.
So karma
goes, okay, wait a minute, Merlin, why are you whispering in this? Now I'm going to come back and get you.
Yeah, karma's going to come back and get Merlin.
Okay, so maybe the king, after he does all these negative things, maybe he doesn't get the backlash for all of it because he's being fed all of this and he's not the true
but he's still
source of the problem.
Yeah, but
maybe karma goes after the true source of the problem to get the negativity out of the king's ear.
I don't care if it's indirect negativity. He's still pushing it. The king has thought to
but
say,
if he don't know no better,
but the king
king could be master in the blaster, and all he doing is big.
Yeah, but the king.
Push.
Yeah, but the king
Say
has
more to me, master.
the king has a free mind. He can think and say, I don't want to go through with that. He can say, Merlin, you're full of shit.
But you're giving the king, okay, let's just say this king is dumb as hell.
Okay, see, now you're adding more things to it.
Right, but you don't know. So I'm saying the big thing is he may not be in control, and karma may recognize it and go, I'm going to deal with the wizard before I even remotely deal with the king.
I don't agree with that, but I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Because karma is a bitch.
Yes.
Karma is like, hey, you knew better.
Right.
Everybody's born with a compass of right and wrong to some degree.
Right.
You knew raping and pillaging the goddamn town.
You knew then.
You knew.
Right.
So yeah, karma. I think karma's got it out for everybody that's doing that. Now, why karma's not running its course now in today's society is another question to be had.
Right.
Why are these 10% still raping and pillaging the people? And we are going along with it.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. Yes, come rape me. Yes, take my precious jewels. I'll work for you. Yeah, 9 to 5. I'll keep you rich in your big house and have that empire running in no time, sir.
Right.
Yes, pay me pennies and goat milk.
So you don't think karma is affecting the people of power? I think it is. We just don't see it. I think ultimately people are...
It's not affecting them the way that we would like it to affect them. And I'm not wishing bad juju on them. I'm just saying I wish karma would affect them to the way where the people could see it. Like they wake up, pull their head out of their ass and go, you know what? I got billions of dollars. Maybe there shouldn't be a lot of starving children on the street, or why St. Jude's is constantly asking for money for cancer research for children with cancer. Maybe I can eliminate that so they don't have to ask for money. You know what I'm saying? Like how karma is not working the way I would like it to work. Mm-hmm. For me.
So karma picks and chooses.
I have no idea what karma does.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I just changed everything you did think karma was, and now it's like I have no idea.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I know that karma goes around and comes around.
Right.
But I have no idea the rhyme or reason when or where or who, karma takes effect.
Well, I think everything is for a reason.
It is.
And everything must happen in a certain way for a reason. So
it's like when someone is stealing from homes left and right, and they've been doing it for years, haven't got caught. Eventually, they're going to get caught.
You think that's more odds than it is karma?
Who's to say?
Right.
What are odds? You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, we could go so deep.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You telling me now that odds and karma are two different, you know what I'm saying? But chances are karma's going to bite you. The odds are it's going to bite you in the ass.
Right.
You're going to get caught.
Maybe odds and karma is the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Hand in hand.
I know. I just felt like I had to repeat it.
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because you're crazy as hell.
I'm crazy, man.
But shit, I haven't had karma mess with me in a minute, and I try to keep it that way.
Right.
I'll do every good gesture I can, not because I want good karma, because that's who I ultimately want to be. Right. I want to be that person that when they think of old Lamar over there, they're like, that's a really genuinely good dude. You know what I mean? That dude gave me the shirt off of his back.
So do you think the universe works like karma? Do you hold the universe and karma under the same
umbrella?
Right.
Yeah.
They just
work differently.
It has a different name for the context in which you're using it.
Well, I think the universe is your karma, your odds, your luck, whatever it may be. Like, right. I do believe like the universe, since it created us, or the grand source of it all created us, yeah, what you put into it, it feeds off of that, because you are that. And so what you put out there is what you put out there. And the universe gives you what you want.
Right.
Even if it's subconsciously hidden from you. The universe is listening. It gives you what you want. So if you ask, or if you like play the part that you have it, you use your imagination. Yeah, I think the universe is like, well, here you go.
Right. So you think it's a string that can definitely be plucked?
No strings. I just think we are what the universe is. All the atoms and molecules and the gases and whatever's in the soup, we are a part of the soup in essence. So we are the universe.
So we have, we have means to manipulate it, to modulate it.
Yeah, there is no separation anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there's a separation. It's all entwined. Like the ocean. When you look at a body of water, it's all the ocean. And you're in it. You're of that. And you affect everything around that. Makes sense to me.
Right. Yeah, I think whatever you say, the universe is listening, and it knows the intent
behind it.
Right. And I keep referring to the universe as some kind of living, breathing thing, but it's not that. It's the fabric of which we're all entangled with that we can't see.
Yeah.
And it has a means of making things manifest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big proponent.
Some might call that God.
Yeah. Or source or universe.
Source, universe, karma.
It's just another name.
Right. Just another deity.
Yeah.
But it's funny that, you know, people have attached themselves to some sort of belief.
Some sort of external higher up.
Right.
You know, that overlooks everything.
So that means everybody thinks that there's something more to them than
not
what
everybody.
they can see.
Not everybody. You got atheists out there and some scientists out there that
just because you're an atheist doesn't mean you don't believe in anything.
Yeah, but you got atheists out there that don't believe in like an afterlife. Like it is what it is.
Right.
Like everything is what it is. After this, I am going to die, and there's going to not be an inkling. That's it. There'll be nothing.
Right.
And that's their thought. Like some scientists believe it's all in the brain. The brain produces all this. Chemicals in the brain produce all this in the consciousness. You know, and that's how some people are forever going to think. And you got those out there that, you know, that are tied into religion, spirituality, the universe, whatever, that think there's more to themselves than just this body.
Right.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Just live the life that you're at, and you'll find out for sure in the end. Because there's one thing that's 100%. There's an end to this physical life, and we all have that in common.
Right.
So keep on guessing away on what you might think.
And don't squander what you have.
Yeah.
Right.
You either keep on guessing and be wrong, or just live the life that you have and just be in the moment with that.
Right.
Get too caught up in the unknowns and you miss out on a whole lot. But
yeah, that's trippy.
Some definitely weird ass topics that you brought up today.
Well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
You know.
And I like it because it makes me think outside the bun.
Right.
Because of they.
They.
Yeah.
I never heard that, outside the bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like a Taco Bell commercial. It was like,
think outside the bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in a taco.
Taco Bell.
Yeah. I had that today on the way over here.
Make you feel bad about yourself?
I don't, because I always get the bean and cheese burrito.
Right.
And I just come to expect that it's just going to be something that's it's at least better than what else they're serving. You can't go too wrong with that. And it was the only meal I had today.
Right.
But when I bit into the shit, it was all tortilla.
Yeah. Processed food.
Yeah. And it was like a spoonful of beans in it. And I'm just like, I should have just packed a freaking lunch bag of tortillas and been good with it.
It just always makes me feel bad to give a fast food joint my money.
Yeah. When you know in return, you're going to get some bullshit.
I'm paying for 100% bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm going to consume it, and I'm going to like it for like 2 seconds. Then I'm going to be like,
it was some bullshit.
That money truly could have went somewhere better.
Yeah, but it's moderation. I don't do it a lot.
Even in
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And I'm still on this. I can't have any sugar, you know.
You're still angry.
Oh, I mean, I want an apple pie or some Oreo cookies. And I know we talked about this last podcast, but look, I'm telling you, man, it's
good. This is good. Now
it's really getting a hold of me.
This is good
it's
data.
It's really weighing me down.
This is good data.
Yeah.
I like to see that you're still struggling.
Yeah.
I wonder where we'll be 6 months from now.
I mean, I've lost a lot of fat around my stomach.
Right.
I've lost or I've gained muscle. The working out has been getting better and better. I feel better. There's no more inflammation in my joints. The trade-off is totally necessary.
Yeah.
But it's really bringing me down.
Yeah, it's a hard thing.
I'm just dragging like.
Yeah. You're a dope at it.
A Nestle's Crunch. Yeah. I just like sugar.
Yeah.
You know? It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's hard to quit.
It is.
I often fantasize about Twix a lot. You know me, the Twix. And with that said, that was another great podcast.
That was.
He always challenges the old mind process.
Man, sugar. It's just weighing me down.
Yeah, I can see it. It's climbing all over you.
You know?
I can look at you and tell it's climbing all over you.
I just want a bite of one of the orange Hostess cupcakes.
Yeah.
Nah, the chocolate ones.
Yeah.
The chocolate ones. A bag of Doritos. Remember RC Cola? You know? That was...
We gonna get out of here because I can't
dog.
entertain this shit no more. Peace.
Ding Dongs, Chocodiles, Baby Ruth, Butterfinger, all that stuff.